Welcome to The People's View, a program dedicated to discussing local, state, and national issues and their effect on the American people. The People's View provides a platform for state representatives and national figures to present their viewpoint. Whether it's social, economic, or financial topics, you'll hear it on The People's View.
Hello, and welcome to People's View. I'm Carl Seidel hosting this session, and don't forget that People's View is sponsored by the Nashua City Republican Committee, and their website is nashuagop.org. If you want to meet with us on the second Thursday of every month at the Crown Plaza, come and listen to some of the speakers we have. Today, we're going to introduce you to Fred Kocher, who's president of the High Tech Council here in New Hampshire, and he's going to talk about a new coalition that he is talking about.
Hi, Carl. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you. Tell us all about this idea of education and manufacturing getting together.
Well, the whole concept is that business and education in this state need each other more than ever. And you couple that with the fact that a lot of the CEOs of even small and medium-sized companies in New Hampshire are pulling their hair out because they can't find the talent they need. And that's not indigenous to New Hampshire, of course. It's true across the country. But in New Hampshire, we are mostly small companies that are trying to grow. And so not to have the talent stunts that growth. And so we have a big challenge ahead of us, and business needs educated talent, and we need to get it from our own colleges more than we are now. So with all of that in mind, a group of about 4 of us, actually 5 of us, came together over a year ago and include Virginia Berry, the Commissioner of Education, Paul Leather, her deputy, Tom Raffio, who's President and CEO of Northeast Delta Dental and Chairman of the State Board of Education, Tom Horgan, who is President of the New Hampshire College University Council, and myself, President of the High Tech Council. And we have been talking about putting together a group that would be business-driven to be a sounding board to make improvements for ideas that would improve education in New Hampshire, and then to take a few of those good ideas that show promise and advocate for them wherever we have to advocate as a group. The makeup of the group is stellar. It's top business executives in the state and top education leaders. And we've invited the chairs of both the House and the Senate Education Committees to join us as well. And so we have about 21 members. We've only had one meeting. We launched in April, but we're going to be an action group. We're not going to just sit around and talk. And we already have 3 initiatives that we're discussing that we are going to look into. We're going to do our homework. We're going to bring in people that know about that have the information for these initiatives, and then decide which ones to advocate.
And can you tell us any more about that, and what's your timeline?
Well, in very general terms, because we've had one meeting. So the first one would be a program that is already going in the state. We don't want to duplicate what's already happening. There's a program in the state called State Scholars, and some of your viewers may know about it. It's in 64 of 80 high schools in New Hampshire already. And it's a program that really brings the business community into the high schools and works with the students and with their teachers and their principals to get the students who are in the high school level to be more rigorous in their coursework and to make that coursework more relevant to college, so that when these students go on to college, they're college ready, and we don't have as many courses to go back and try to learn the math you should have learned in high school, but they're ready to go. This program is very successful in New Hampshire, but they're beginning to lose some of their funding from a couple funding sources. So we are going to listen to the particulars about that program from their director, Scott Power, and see what we can do to help advocate for that program, which is a big success and making a difference. They had, I think, between 1,500 and 2,000 of the graduates of this State Scholars Program with their parents and families and brothers and sisters at the State House the other day.
Oh, really?
With a rally to give awards to those students who had completed the State Scholars Program in their high schools. 64 high schools, that's a lot of people. And the governor was there to say hello to them and so forth.
Gee, you didn't get much publicity on that, though.
Well, I think Channel 9 was there with a camera, but you're right. You know, part of the issue is we have to communicate. They have to communicate, but they're doing well. So we want to support that program. Another one is just in the very early stages of forming, but it's a private program. It's being organized by some business leaders in the state and funded by them to educate people, both adults and young people, in software engineering and software skills, writing code, because not enough talent is coming out of our colleges and universities, both public and private, for the needs of New Hampshire companies. So there's a private program being developed that would be based probably in Manchester or Nashua, and would be working jointly with UNH Manchester in some way, shape, or form. This is in early stages. It's an effort by the private sector to educate the talent that it needs and to supplement what's coming out of our universities. The third one, the initiative that we'll probably look at, we haven't really decided, but it's something I think we're all interested in, is to map those collaborations that are already taking place in New Hampshire between business and education. I know there's a Whalen Engineering up in the Upper Valley, for instance. They bring students in from the local schools to see what a manufacturing facility is all about.
Good.
How does it work? What are the different types of jobs? And to maybe incent them a little bit to be more interested in their studies and perhaps have a vision of where they want to go in the future. So it's that kind of collaboration we're talking. How much of that's happening around New Hampshire? We don't know. So we'd like to map that to see what it is that's, and to advocate for those best practices.
And find out what works and doesn't work.
And you've been involved with a company in your past that has done that.
Yes, definitely. In fact, I even went to high school in New York, and they had the programs where they took us out to different places. I know I went to Brookhaven National Laboratories, and that got me interested in radioactive chemistry. But those things are very, very valuable for somebody who doesn't know what they want to do, whether it's high school or even in college. Because you're not even sure, you know, you might start off in one major. I know my son did, and my daughter went through 3 majors. But it takes a while sometimes for people to really find out.
Sometimes you end up doing something completely different from what you were educated with. You know, one of the issues, Carl, that is creeping into all of this is that a lot of people our age are continuing to work. And so the jobs that they would have left aren't opening up for the young people coming out of college. It's part of the problem that young people have finding a job. So some of us who need the money, because we keep working because we need the money or because we just want to keep busy, and because companies need the expertise we have because they're not getting it from the younger generation as much as they need to. It's a dilemma. And so young people have probably more challenge in finding jobs today than they did when we were growing up.
Are you thinking about intern programs too, or summer work type of things? We did that at DuPont, where we hired at least a couple dozen students, high school students, that were 18.
Yes. Yeah, the High Tech Council has developed a website that would match companies and students looking for internships. And I know there are other groups in the state that have done the same thing. Yes, internships is a big initiative that we will look at probably eventually through this group and advocate for. Although there's a lot already being done, we just have to, you have to bring some. There's so much being done over here and over there, but it's not.
You've got to bring it all together.
The hands have to be joined.
That's right. Yeah.
And so one of the things we'll try to do is to not only make everybody aware through marketing and publicity of the internship sites that are available, but to make sure that we're not duplicating and that perhaps some of them can merge and create a bigger site with a big red button you can push to see what internships are available.
Well, you saw some things working. You were talking earlier off camera about Granite State College and the program. They're working with the community college. Can you go into a little bit about that?
Granite State, I'm on the advisory board at Granite State College, part of the university system, of course. And Granite State College right now is the best buy in a four-year education, higher education in New Hampshire. The best buy in a bachelor's degree that you can, it's the least expensive, and yet the teaching quality is superb. They have been listed just recently by U.S. News and World Report as of all the online programs in the country among colleges, as the 27th best online program, curriculum program in the country. That's significant. Granite State College?
As a public one, too,
As
right?
a public college, as a small college, which it is, although over 50% of their students are online. In fact, I think it's up to 60 now. So it's, but they also have, besides being online, they also have access to faculty and to some of the seniors for one-on-one collaboration and mentoring and so forth, so that it's not just online. There's some human contact as well. But Granite State used to be the College of Lifelong Learning for some of your viewers that may remember it as that. And it became Granite State College. Now it's a four-year degree college. A lot of the teachers are adjunct faculty. They come out of business and the professions and have real-world experience in what they're teaching. And then the graduation, which is coming up, I think, in about 2 weeks, is one of the great events that I have ever participated in this state. You sit there on the platform in your cap and gown, and you watch the students that are receiving their certificates and their diplomas coming across the stage. They range in age from their early 20s to adults in their 60s. There was one mother that came across with a baby in her arms because she just had a baby and the baby was with her to get her diploma. Most of these people, 90% of the students at Granite State College are working adults, and they have many full-time jobs, but they're going back to improve themselves, to add to their resumes, and to hopefully get a raise at work, they hope. But it's heartwarming to see this array of different ages of people and knowing that they're bettering themselves. And many are changing careers. And so they've gone back to school to do that. And Granite State is a great place to do that. I always, as you know, Carl, we have less in-migration now to New Hampshire than we used to have of educated people. And so we're having to rely more on the workforce we already have. So to see the workforce we already have improving through their education at Granite State is a big positive for the state.
Well, it sounds like it's a program that is going to be very worthwhile as it keeps on developing. And I think you said that they're looking to expand to other community colleges and working with them.
Right. They're all over the state. But the situation in Nashua is unique because Granite State has some mobile facilities on site now until they can build a permanent one. But you can go from Nashua Community College right into Granite State College in the same location, because the classes that for many of the courses offered at Granite State are being taught right at Nashua Community College in some mobile facilities that have been put up there at the campus. So it's a trend. I would like, this is me talking now, I'd like to see that happening all over the state.
Well, I think it should too, and I think, well, when I served on Public Works Committee in the previous session, the community colleges came together with a real good program for their capital improvements.
Yeah.
And I think some of them, Manchester and one on the Upper Valley, I think, were the two that stood out with some of the new technology that they were achieving, and the continuing education programs. So that's what I think is going to help out a lot of the businesses who need some hands-on people in their manufacturing.
The community colleges are brimming with students. I mean, because it's affordable.
That's right.
and so is Granite State. Those are the two entities that are really growing in this state in terms of higher education. Some of the other colleges, including UNH, have seen a decline, as we have found out recently, in the total student body, and there are various reasons for that. But for those that want education and they don't have a lot of resources, Granite State College and the community college system are perfect places.
And I think people are looking for, something that's affordable now.
Yep.
It's right in the economy now. They have to make their money stretch just like everybody else.
And I will say I'd like to compliment the new chancellor, the relatively new chancellor of the community college system, Ross Cattell, who was a professor and an economist at the Whittemore School of Business at the University of New Hampshire, which is now the Paul School of Business. He is the chancellor now at the community college system, and Ross gets it. He understands the relationship between the economy and education, and he's beginning to influence how the community college system works to contribute to the workforce in New Hampshire, even more than they have, and in a way that will contribute to the needs in the workforce.
Ross, when he was at UNH, also started some of the entrepreneurship programs. Didn't he,
very
over
much
there?
so, yes.
And I think that was something. Is that going anyplace?
Yeah, there's a green initiative where where the UNH has invested not only some federal money that they got, but some of their faculty in a program that helps startup companies that are in that so-called green category. And they've had some real successes with some of those companies that are starting to grow. And I don't know if the federal money has run out, but Ross was instrumental in starting that. Yes, it's very successful. Entrepreneurship, Carl, as you would appreciate, is really the key to growing this economy going forward because of the economic climate in which we find ourselves with the so-called new normal because of the recession. And because of the dilemmas in the Congress that aren't resolved, and because of Europe being in a recession right now, the new normal means that we're going to have to grow our own companies here. And so there's an ecosystem developing in the state to do that, which would include the universities and the community colleges and businesses and business executives, especially those who have already started businesses and have been around the barn a few times and know what's what, and angel investors and venture capitalists. All of that is being pulled together slowly but surely into an ecosystem to start up companies in New Hampshire and help them grow successfully. That is something that, not that hasn't been done, but hasn't been done in such a broad scale, which it will be going forward.
I see. What do you mean by going forward? Do they have some plans that to get more involved or expand their capabilities?
It's sort of like having an ecosystem, a network of people, CEOs with experience, venture capitalists and angels, universities and colleges, including the community college, including Granite State College, that stand ready to be helpful to businesses to start. And then if you're an individual and you have an idea of starting a business, you can go to this network and say, here I am, I've got a little money, but I don't have all of that much. Here's my idea. What do you think? And there'll be an assessment made, and then if it looks like it's promising, there'll be an effort to help that company start.
Okay. That means putting you in touch with finance
absolutely.
And manufacturing talent or whatever.
And the Small Business Development Center in the state is also going to be part of that. And they have a long history of helping small businesses in the state. So it's an ecosystem, not a program per se, but an ecosystem of people with different expertises that are all coming together to help startups.
And that's something like your program of this coalition then, too. I mean, a system that's going to work together.
Right.
And be cohesive and sort of promote the whole state, really.
Yeah, it's like growing your own vegetables in your own garden, you know. And
well,
rather
that's true.
Rather
that's
than depending on the grocery store to bring them in from outside, we have to grow our own businesses here. And I think the day of we are bringing some significant businesses into New Hampshire. Albany International that went over to Rochester is a good example. They came out of Albany, New York. But that's not going to happen as much as it used to. We're going to have to depend on growing our own more than we've ever had before if we want a stronger company.
And that's one of the points that I think people don't realize. We always talk about what taxes we have to raise or something to get money. But if we grow our tax base, we get the money.
Exactly.
And a lot better, a lot more uniform expansion in the state, a lot more opportunities for everybody.
Yes, no, I agree.
Now, if people want to get in touch with you and learn more about this, where do they go?
Well, they can go to the High Tech Council website.
Okay.
It's NHHTC, I think it's going to be up on the screen, .org, nhhtc.org. Or they can get a hold of me through the council's website or call the council. The phone number is right on the website.
Okay.
I'm going to be going from the presidency of the council, which I've been for about 12 years, to a trustee status, but I'm going to still be involved, but I'm going to be focusing now more on this Coalition for Business and Education, which will involve the High Tech Council and the BIA and others, but that's going to be my focus now.
Good.
And
okay, so we know what to get to.
Carl, the 30-somethings that are on our board at the High Tech Council have taken over.
We're not done yet, though, Fred.
No, we're not done yet, but they speak a lingo that I have to learn about. So the new generation is taking over the tech community in New Hampshire. So I see the handwriting on the wall, but I know that education is something that is important to us at any age, including some of those 60-year-olds that came across the stage, the platform at Granite State College graduation last year. So you're never too old to educate.
No, that's true. But we have experience, Fred. So that's
right. That's true. We have wisdom.
Good and bad experiences, which are worth just as well.
And the wisdom that came with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the time today, and we'll keep in touch with you and find out maybe in the fall where you're going.
Well, I appreciate the chance to talk about it.
Okay. Thank you again. Appreciate it. And thank you for listening in. It's the Nashua Republican City Committee at nashua.gop.org. Thank you again.